Welcome to a special edition of Baking with Frank. Did you vote today? All right, so some of you last week when we made Schnecken were very eagle-eyed and saw that in the bottom of the pan of Schnecken was a topping. Because of time and because of, well, audio issues, let's just admit it. The audio didn't record. I didn't include that. So we're going to do it now. Also, it would have made it the 40 minutes that I thought. But here we are. So this is actually really super simple. If I can find the right tools here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So into a pan on the stove on low heat. That's high heat. We are going to put 1 stick of butter. So half cup of butter right up in there. We're going to let that melt down a little bit. Break it up to help that out. And we'll give it a little more heat, I suppose. Can't hurt, right? Well, we've got waiting on the side here, in addition to our half cup of butter, a cup of brown sugar, and a cup of whole pecans. These can be pecan pieces, they can be walnuts, they can be whatever you want them to be. In the recipe, these are put on top of 3 tablespoons of margarine and 3 tablespoons of butter mixed that are then pressed into the bottom of the pan. That all then soaks up into the Schnecken. So this is laid right on top of it. In our traditional Schnecken here in Cincinnati, Ohio, you don't get any of that. You might get a couple of stray raisins floating on the top, but you don't get the pecan-y goodness. At least I've not found it yet. So this truly is a super bonus Frank. We'll break these up a little bit just to keep things moving along. And while that's continuing to melt, I'm going to add in the 1 cup brown sugar. Splash. I'm using light brown sugar in this case because it's what we have in the house. Now, when you do this for the Schnecken, if you do this for the Schnecken, and I still recommend if you can buy a Schnecken, buy a Schnecken. You would not heat it like this. This is actually going to make some really awesome pecan brittle because I learned that it works the same way. So, we're going to let that melt down. Get my pecans at the ready because this seems like it's going to move kind of quickly now. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And really what you're trying to get to here is a caramel. If you listen closely, you can probably hear at least one dog crying because they're in their crates because it, in the end, is the work day. And the bubbles tend to get a little bit bigger as well. So while we're watching this, you could be spending your time hitting the like and follow buttons, and then catching up with us on Facebook or Instagram. That's all the shameless plug I'm going to do right now. So you can see it's changing texture a little bit. Looks a little more fluffy. And there's the quieter bubbling. Still a little bit in the middle, but you can hear it starting to almost sound like ocean waves. Okay, not really. That was a little much. All right, so we're going to put in pecans. I'm going to give those a stir just to make sure everything gets coated really well. Continue to let this cook for a minute. And I'm using a Silpat line pan here just for non-stickness, but of course you could use wax paper or parchment paper or something along those lines. You know, what do? We use what we got in the house. I happen to have this in the house. In fact, it was drying in the oven right below me here, so out it came. And this is something that'll turn on a dime, so we could go from bubbling and being good to burned in about a second. So don't walk away. an eye on it. Okay, there's that quiet bubbling. All right, starting to strand. I made that up. I don't know if that's really a thing, but it looked like strands. All right, we're going to stop it here and onto the silpat. And we're going to, wait a minute, talk to me. And we're going to let it cool, and then we'll come back and take a look. All right, so it's been about, well, I'm going to say it's been almost half an hour. And here we are. Well, if I can get everything to work together here. All right. So we, in the end, have a big mass of sugar, butter, and pecans. There's nothing wrong with that. So we just need to break it up a little bit. Now, once again, if you're doing this on top of the Schnecken in the pan, obviously you're not going to do all of these steps. This is really just for the brittle part of it. And yes, that what you can see there is all butter all over my fingers. And we're going to give it a taste. If you're not in my kitchen right now, you're not living right. See you at the end of the week.